everybody. I'm Ken Hockey, Senior Editor, WorkBoat and WorkBoat.com. And I'm here to announce the Boat of the Year for WorkBoat for 2020. We want to thank our sponsor, by the way, Travelers, for making this possible. And the boat this year is Boat 42. It's an aluminum patrol boat for Port of Los Angeles. And it was built and designed by MetalCraft Marine. And we have with us MetalCraft's contracts manager, Bob Clark. Bob, how are you today?
Very good. Nice to meet you on by Zoom.
Now, this boat is, it measures 42 feet 6 inches by 13 feet 4 inches and has a depth of 5 feet 9 inches.
Well, let me correct you on the depth. It's not that deep.
It's not that deep. Okay, what's the depth?
It's 3'9".
3'9". Okay, my mistake. The main propulsion, 2 Cummins diesel 6.7 liter, 480 horsepower. And those are connected to Conrad heavy duty 680 dual prop out drives. And that gives it a running speed of about 35 knots. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. And it's got a rear cargo deck of 13.4 feet by 9.8 feet. All right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, this boat is part of your interceptor line there at MetalCraft. So can you tell us what, first of all, let's talk about how you got involved in this project in the first place.
Well, initially we were contacted by the Port of LA. Would we be interested in tendering? They sent out a draft RFP, which is a good way to go. A lot of the Navy, Coast Guard do that all the time to get comment from industry. So I'm sure we commented, other companies commented, and then they sent out the final RFP and we bid and won. It was a best value evaluation, which to me is the most sensible of all evaluations as opposed to just low price. And they were very happy that we won. I think what brought them to us in the first place was they had gone down to see our fleet of boats at the Port of San Diego. So the Port of San Diego has 5 of our firestorms for the port police. So they're trained in fire and police. And they also have CBRN detection equipment, though not as extensive as this. And so these boats have been there since 2010. And so they said to us that the people in San Diego said that we support the boats so well, and they don't even know how we do it from so far away. And they really wanted this boat to be running all the time. We gave them a maintenance plan. We showed them how we would help them do this. And, you know, a boat is like a car. If you do the regular preventive maintenance, it should be going all the time. There should not be a time when that thing breaks down. There's nothing more reliable than a Cummins engine. So it doesn't break down if you just change that oil and make sure that all the other things, its levels are up to par, right?
Yeah. So the interceptor line, why was this a good fit for
Well,
what
we
they
brought
do?
that line out, believe it or not. It started formation in 2011 as we were starting our design work for the long-range interceptor project for the Coast Guard. So the first one in the water, and it was a morph from our Kingston line. Our Kingston line was so successful, but we knew its limitations. And so we wanted to go beyond its limitations. So we did quite an analysis and design, and also worked with Donald Blount, and came up with this remarkable hull and called it the Interceptor. So the Coast Guard have bought 12, they have 11 in service, and every guy who drives it raves about the boat. So it's got a very, very fine entry, and a fine entry, of course, means a soft ride when you enter the wave, right? It's much more forgiving for the operators, not jarring. It's makes the boat much quieter, and takes a little bit more horsepower to drive this thing, but the other big one, we always say it's a soft, dry ride. So in an open version, and we've sold an awful lot of open ribs for the Interceptor, no one can believe the water shedding. And in an open rib, keeping dry is a big thing for crew fatigue. So it's super, super important that they stay dry, especially at this time of year. Holy jumping.
Now, this boat has some detection capabilities, CBRN capabilities that are really quite deep. And you talk a little bit about that. This boat is more interested in keeping bad actors out of the port, not chasing them once they get in, right?
Correct. Exactly right. They go to the outside of the port. They don't wait for the ship to come to them, and they examine every ship. So they run down the side of the ship and can scan the inside of the ship through the steel walls, the tanks, blows my mind, with this rad machine that can pick up the most slightest amount of radiation of any kind. And it also categorizes the type of radiation it is, so they don't have a false reading if, you know, some guy's got those, what is it they put in their heart, those isotopes.
Yeah.
It can pick it up if the guy is in the cabin even, but it identifies it so they know that that's a pharmaceutical type of radiation. And so anyway, we know from Port of LA and the Port of Seattle that they have encountered this in the past. You know, we have to give it to our agencies. We don't hear about it because they don't want to scare the living daylights out of everybody, but they also are protecting us 100%. They really, truly are. And they can't do it without the equipment. So this boat checks every single ship, and it also checks it for chemical and biological threats. So the roof mount thing, which is the weirdest looking contraption I've ever seen, it sends a beam 3.1 miles, and it can read what it's emitting. It can tell them if it's an environmental threat even, but it basically can read almost any chemical and any biological threat, and it is read by a computer. Computer tells its concentration, its plume, and direction. So the plume is the size of the concentration in I guess square footage or square miles. And then it tells its direction and its concentration, and if the concentration is breaking up or getting more concentrated. And then all of that is relayed to their command center, and it also is relayed to the LAPD downtown. So I'm sure there's nobody sitting there watching it. There's probably like an alarm on the computer that would go off if the thing was a real viable threat. And you know, on top of that, when they're sitting out there waiting for ships, they also have listening devices and they advise the Coast Guard on any movement of those small pangas, the drug smuggling boats, the high-speed drug smuggling boats. So they're out there for hours and hours. So part of the boat that's important is comfortable cabin. It has to be comfortable because they're out there for so many hours. So, you know, they've got, you know, a nice fridge and coffee maker and that kind of stuff, really, really nice seats. I forgot to mention the anchor windlass. So when they're at anchor, they specified this anchor windlass. Never heard of it before in my life, from Australia. And it's the weirdest looking thing. It looks more like a deck winch, but it's super fast, and it wraps, and it's really safe. It can't jam. It's right on deck. All the line and chain is right on deck. It's not down in a hold, so that if anything were to jam, you can get right to it. And they can bring that anchor up in no time. It's really, really something pretty interesting.
And the hull has to be strong enough to be able to be out there in that open ocean.
Oh yeah.
Much as it is, right?
Yeah. So everything is sort of, I wouldn't say over-spec, but it's using ISO 12215 standard for structure, which is very, very similar to ABS or any of the classing societies. The ISO has categories, A, B, and C, A being unlimited wave height, B being up to 17 feet, 12 to 17 feet, C being under 12 maximum wave height. And so when you calculate the structure, you calculate the boat going at its maximum speed in 17-foot waves. So it's got 5/16 plate bottom, oversized frames, flanged, goes on and on. But in aluminum, when a boat is heavily built like that, and I think maybe in any boat, it feels more solid, right? And aluminum is notorious for sound with the hull. It also, when you make it oversized, it deadens the sound dramatically. So it's a really quiet boat.
And this boat works a lot. It's not sitting at the dock much, right?
No, crew comes in, crew gets on. They fuel up. Yep, they wanted rapid fueling. So, much oversized fittings and oversized venting. So you can have a really high power nozzle fueling the boat. Fuel from either side, so you don't have to take the hose over to the other side. There's a lot of features there that we wouldn't have thought of. The police know from having had so many boats, they know what doesn't work and they know what they need to work. Like they have an aft helm that is really, we love aft helms. So the guy stands literally right by the back corner of the starboard side of the boat. And this thing that looks like a barbecue, you flip up the lid, there's a lock on it. You flip up the lid and there's another whole console, another chart plotter and radar screen, controls, and he's standing there. Like, it's fantastic for docking or close quarter maneuvering. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Well, Bob, as you know, every year, the editors at WorkBoat, we put together what we think are the 10 most significant boats of the year, as we call them, our significant boats. And so you all have been a part of that in the past, and then this year you've won. About 3 years ago, we started leaving the boat of the year decision to our readers. So they come on workboat.com and they vote. And this year we had the most we've had in 3 years, which is over 3,100 votes. And you all won.
Well, that's fantastic.
So, yeah. So,
but I think it's a good thing for WorkBoat, and I really thank WorkBoat for doing this, and I thank Travelers for supporting it. We're a Travelers customer ourselves. Great insurance company. They've done an awful lot for us, and I certainly thank all the people who voted for us. A lot of them are customers. I know a lot of our customers were writing into us who saw it in WorkBoat, and they were referring WorkBoat. This is an interesting spin-off. They were referring WorkBoat to other people in the industry who maybe don't read it all the time, or maybe they don't get it, like the electronic emails. And I'm sure you had a lot more people sign up for WorkBoat this year, because our fire department guys and our police department guys, all very interested in the boat. And we sent out, I don't know, pictures a few hundred times to people who saw the photo of the boat and said, do you have any more pictures? Yeah. And so we sold 3 more since we were nominated. We're quoting 1, 2, 25 right now. 25 of this boat.
Well, you get them all.
I hope so too. And I gotta say that WorkBoat has helped us with this a lot, for sure.
Well, good. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
So let us know what you need for commission. Well,
yeah, we want to help the industry if we can. So, and this has been fun over the years. The significant boats, and then the boat of the year, the competition's a lot of fun. People have a lot of fun.
We won in 2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the Firestorm. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. So we've been doing this a while.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. but we like the new, voting by the readers.
I think so. So. And I try to read WorkBoat every month. I certainly skim it every month. I don't always have the time to read it. As I was saying to you before, I think the COVID thing has allowed more people more time. Not all people, but more people more time. And I think that the readership, I'm sure, has gone up at WorkBoat. And I know that our response from ads in WorkBoat has gone up this year.
Great,
It's
great to hear.
noticeable, right?
All right, Bob, well, congratulations again.
Thank you
And
so much, Ken.
have a great holiday season.
Yeah. Oh, one question. Do you have a logo or something for WorkBoat of the Year for us to use for advertising?
I'm sure we do, but
Good.
I will put you in touch with the marketing department
Great.
about
Good.
that, and they'll fix you up with something, I'm sure.
Great. Well, you have a wonderful day and Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Thanks, Bob.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.
Thanks.